I am your host, Javier Vicuna.
And I am your co-host, Santi Hernandez.
And Annalie is not present, but she is currently graduating from Novato High. So congratulations to Annalie and to all other high schoolers who are graduating this week. But on today's show, we have a special guest from the Marin County Bike Coalition, Matt Farber. Matt is the outreach coordinator and lead instructor for Marin County Bike Coalition. Matt will be sharing with us details regarding the Cory's Ride program and how teens can get educated on bike safety and earn a free bike. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. Could you just introduce yourself to our audience real fast?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Javier. Thank you, Santi. My name's Matt Farber. As Javier mentioned, I'm with the Marin County Bicycle Coalition, and I also work with Safe Routes to Schools, which is a fantastic organization. We go to all of the schools in Marin County to teach kids about bicycle education, and also we start them really young and teach kids pedestrian education, how to cross the street. So a lot of the fundamental things that we all know and take for granted as adults, those are the kind of things that we try to teach kids and get them started young.
Thank you so much for introducing yourself, Matt. We're really excited to have you on the show today, and we look forward to learning more about yourself and the Cory's Ride program. But before we get into that, Santi will provide us with the quote of the week.
Yes, so I'm very excited to have Matt today on the show. He's going to be sharing about the program that we have. We want to share with all of you. And I found this quote, and it's by Mark Twain, and it says, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So today we're going to talk about a bike program. And maybe some of you have been wanting to go biking, whether it's mountain biking or off-roading or road biking, but sometimes work, school gets in the way, or the fear of getting out of your comfort zone stops you. Just remember that here on in the future, when you look back at your life, that you could be disappointed of you not trying at least to go out for a bike ride. And you can apply this quote to anything that you're into, art, music, anything. So just a reminder that it's not too late, and do the things that you like and you want to explore, because they can make such a difference and can give you amazing experiences. So that's my quote of the week. And now back to Javier.
Well, thank you for that quote, Santi. That was a really great quote. I think it applies very well to what we're going to be talking about today, especially because again, like personally for me, I haven't touched a bike in a few years, so kind of getting back into it this year and last really helped. It really did take me out of my comfort zone, and especially the kind of riding that I'm doing now. It's very different from what I'm used to. So, yeah, don't let anything kind of stop you. You are your worst enemy, and you should take advantage of trying new things, because you'll really grow from it. But right before we get into the interview, we're going to go ahead and play our PSA for wildfire season. So we'll be right back.
Wildfire season is here again. Pacific Gas and Electric will turn off electricity when there is extreme fire danger to reduce the risk of wildfires. Marin residents need to be ready in case of prolonged power outages. First, you can sign up to get notifications about planned power outages. These will tell you when the power outages are likely to happen and how long the power will be out. To receive notifications, text your zip code to 888-777. Second, be sure to have a working flashlight, enough food and water for 3 days, and other necessary items stored in your house and or your car. Third, learn about how to prepare to keep your family safe in case of a wildfire or extended power outage. See emergency preparedness information on the readymarin.org website. Please text your zip code to 888-777 to get on the alert system today. Welcome back, TAY fam. Now we'll be learning more about Cory's Ride program. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited. And based on our research with Javier, we have some questions we would like to ask you regarding this program. And the first one is, can you give us an overview about the Cory's Ride program?
Absolutely. And thanks for wanting to talk about this. It's a really cool program. It got started in 2020 with the whole mission being basically to provide the opportunity to ride bicycles to everyone and to basically make the health and mobility benefits of bicycling a a right versus just a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
So it started last year, and we got some loaner bikes for elementary and middle school students. And then this year we started working with high school students at San Rafael High School. And they did a 6-week program with me where we learned about bicycle safety, all about mechanics and how to make good decisions when you're out on the bicycle. And we did group rides together. We did some on Zoom, some in person. And then at the end of it, they got to keep the bicycles, helmet, all the equipment to set them up for success and have it for their use in their everyday lives, whether they're going to work, to school, to see family. We really just, like you were saying with that quote at the beginning, it really does just open up this whole world by having a bicycle. And we want everyone to be able to enjoy that. And that's the basic mission of Cory's Ride.
That's great. I'm totally happy that you guys started this because I think it's a really great age range to target, like high schoolers, especially with the different ways that you can get around to high school, and just learning bike safety and mechanics can go such a long way because again, it gets you educated on just basic mechanics and also just being more aware of your surroundings. It makes you just a much more safer person, and I think a lot of people take for granted that when you're out on the road on a bike it's very dangerous, but it really isn't. You just have to be very aware and educated of how to properly ride your bike on the streets. Again, I'm really glad that you're creating this program to help high schoolers out. And the other question I had for you is, so how is the sign up process? So how can a high schooler sign up to be a part of this? And is it exclusive to SR or is it open to other Marin County high schools?
Right. Great questions. It is not exclusive to San Rafael. That's just where we kind of started the high school pilot program. But yeah, we have more bikes currently in our inventory that we're looking to give out in the fall. That will most likely be at San Rafael High School just because we already have an established relationship there. But we're looking to expand into other parts of Marin County. We're in talks with Marin City about potentially doing something there later in the fall. But yeah, the application process, the way it works, we worked through some wonderful teachers at San Rafael High School. That's how we kind of got our foot in the door. And I presented to all of the classrooms that we were, kind of wanting to recruit from. And students had to submit an application explaining why they need a bicycle or what they would seek to gain from having a bicycle, how they would plan to lock it and take care of it, because those are considerations that we want to make sure, that people are aware of and that they do have a safe place to store it and that they will, we provided them with locks and everything, but just that they're going to use it. And just to get a sense of the students a little bit more, because, we had more applicants than we had bicycles at the time. And we've raised a ton of money over the last year too. So we'll have more and more bikes to give away. But we want to do it systematically. So groups of 10 at a time and, just have the reach get broader and broader. So yeah, we recruited those 10 from there. And then in time, we hope to expand it even to do an elementary or a middle school earn a bike program where a student and potentially one of their parents gets a bicycle to really open up just even more opportunity. Because again, for parents to bike with kids is a really special thing. And there are bonds that are formed there. And it also, for many parents, can give them more mobility benefit. Maybe they don't have a car to get to work and the bus, takes much longer at times. We really just want to give people mobility options, whether you're a youth or an adult. So there's lots on the horizon for Cory's Ride.
That's amazing. Wow. I'm amazed and I love when I hear programs that are focused on helping, because biking helps the environment, right? So it's a very important thing. And I worked with Safe Route to Schools. I had programs when I was in middle school and I worked with them. So I know they promote a lot of, biking and walking to school, and I know how that's important, but I love how you guys also keep in mind how that can help the students and parents in their individual lives. I think that's amazing. Speaking of, how you guys are branching out, doing different things, what made you want to start Cory's Ride program? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, you started with the idea of Cory's Ride program?
No, I wish I could take credit, but no, it started with the vision of Tim and Suzanne Leonidakis, who
Okay.
are friends of Marin County Bicycle Coalition. They are wonderful people. I've gotten to know them very closely now. Their son sadly passed away a few years ago
Okay.
while biking, not from an accident or anything. He just had a health condition that was exacerbated by biking. And anyway, they wanted to carry on his memory and honor him and the sport that he enjoyed the most, which was bicycling. And they were the ones that came to Marin County Bicycle Coalition with this idea and really drove the fundraising efforts, and have, just been so amazing to watch the passion and the effort that they put into this program alongside us. So they brought the idea to MCBC, and we kind of helped put it all into play. The elementary school loaner bike program had already happened before I started with Marin County Bicycle Coalition. So we got a fleet of 55 donor bikes that we use at all the schools, because we go and teach, just like you said, safe routes to schools, education at the schools, and kids can bring their bikes, but many kids don't have their own. So this lets them enjoy the same experience at school with safe routes, regardless of if they have their own bike or not. So they get to use one of ours. Since my coming on, I have kind of taken over the program as the program director and have launched this high school program, which we're so happy about. The first go at it with this first cohort was just so fantastic. I took some of the kids on a ride over the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge on Monday.
Oh, wow.
It was so fun, and just getting to know them. One of the students is interning with us this summer at MCBC, and just really great things. So so all that to say, I took it over kind of from from when it transitioned to the high school realm, and we're very much still just getting started, and we're excited.
That's great. I did see that you did take the students across the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. I saw it on you guys' Instagram page. And regarding that, so I know you mentioned that you guys were doing the classes through Zoom and in person. So how does that hybrid work exactly?
Yeah. So, obviously COVID has presented a unique challenge over the last year with education and meetings in general. When we started, we recruited the kids in February and started working with them in March. And at that time, we still weren't allowed to go on site at San Rafael High School and many other schools. So I started teaching them over Zoom, the bicycle safety education and all the fun stuff too, about the history of bicycles and how it can help the world, and a lot of, the environmental benefits, things like that. So we had 2 classes over Zoom. Then we met for the first time at Pickleweed Park in the Canal neighborhood where the kids got to meet the bikes that they would later get to take home.
That's cool.
It was really neat to see them. We did some drills. We practiced locking our bikes. We did some races, like who could lock their bike the fastest with getting the frame and both tires with the cable.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Then we did a couple more classes over Zoom. And then we did a group ride, which was really wonderful. We had some of our donors out there and MCBC members. And at the end of that class, the students got to take their bicycles home. And they were, from that point on, theirs to keep. And we're going to continue to work with them, these group rides like we did on Monday, our intern. But really the hope beyond this, we'll of course recruit other cohorts and students to go through the same program, but we really want these students to become, advocates and leaders in the community, because, there's still a lot of change that needs to happen. Like biking to school is an example. If they were to bike to San Rafael High School, some of that corridor along East Francisco, it's not the greatest place to bike.
Oh no, that is a terrible place to ride a bike. I wholeheartedly agree with you on there, because that's what we have to take to get to the studio actually. And when I see cyclists on those roads, I feel like really sketched out for them, because it is not a very bike friendly road, and that goes for a lot of places here in Marin. Like we're pretty good overall with than other counties, but yeah, here in San Rafael, there's still some sketchy areas. And I did see that there was a plan for San Anselmo, I think, to create bike routes for Sir Francis, or I don't think it's Drake High School anymore, but just for that San Anselmo High School, to create more bike lanes for that area. So change like that is really great too to see from the Marin County Bike Coalition.
Absolutely. That's a lot of the advocacy work that we do is, we're instrumental in getting our voices heard and the voices of the public in driving that change of getting better bike infrastructure and safer routes, not just to schools, but everywhere. And truthfully and wholeheartedly, students and youth can be some of the biggest movers of that change. The youth are our future, and we really want them to become involved. So that's a big, big part of this as well.
Most definitely. All right. Well, thank you, Matt. We're going to go ahead and transition over to our song. And after the song, we'll get back with Matt and learn a little more about himself. So this song is by Incense and Cologne, and it's called The Wind. We'll be right back.
I know this can't be life. Look at everything inside. It's strife, but we try to live it right. Keep on going through the night. I fall in darkness, where you gotta stand up, don't be heartless. Everything pulling you, then I feel it. But really, life is what you make it. I know I ain't seen everything, but I've seen enough to know this world crazy. So baby, try to live at ease and try to breathe at ease. Breathe at ease, breathe at ease, breathe at ease. Some more going with the wind, some more going against the wind. But we keep going, so when we go.
Welcome back, TAY fam. I hope you guys enjoyed our song. As always, if you are a local artist and want to hear your song on our show, please DM us on Facebook or Instagram. We would love to play your music. And now back to Matt. Matt, I know you started with MCBC early this year, but you've worked with Safe Routes to School and worked with students from 1st to 2nd grade on promoting biking and a healthy lifestyle. Can you share with us more about what you've learned in your career so far?
Yeah, it's really been just a phenomenal learning experience from the get-go. Working with kids as they are discovering how to cross the street for the first time safely, how to, navigate on a bicycle and make good, independent decisions, thinking for themselves. It's really been such a cool experience to see kids kind of take that all in and then implement what they've learned. So yeah, with Safe Routes, we go to all the schools in Marin County and teach that amazing education. With the biking side of things, we do bike rodeos and bring in our van and our trailer and our bikes, and we chalk out fake streets for kids to get to practice in a safe environment. And we also work a lot with families and do family biking and other programs to really just create a bike-friendly and bike-safe Marin County. I guess to your question, what have I enjoyed learning about, or what have I learned? It's really just so much. It's really been great to learn what is important to the community and to residents of Marin County, and to see how we can help make the things that are important to them happen. It's really been great.
Thank you for providing that. I remember, just to share a little bit with Safe Routes to School, I worked with them in middle school at Miller Creek Middle School, and I remember them promoting so much about walking and biking to school, and they had events, and it made, for example, my brother, he got inspired by that, and now he's a mountain biker, and he loves and goes and finds trails, and that's very important for him. And for me, I got so much more involved in the environmentally awareness, being aware of protecting our environment, walking, biking to school, and also teaching that to my younger generation, the generations that I have in my family. So thank you for working and sharing all of that, because it does make a difference. I still have those memories, and I'm still today making sure I'm, being environmentally friendly and taking care of myself mentally, and being, trying to be the best I can for my community. So thank you so much for the work that you do in Safe Routes to School.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And on your position description on the Marin County Bike Coalition website, It did show that you have been involved with helping underserved communities and children with disabilities. Could you go a little more further in detail as to how you were involved with those communities and helping them out?
Yeah, absolutely. So from a young age, I just took an interest in working with, especially children with disabilities, but also just, some other, just communities that maybe need a little help. And it started probably in high school and has continued on to this day. I've worked with a number of organizations that do recreational activities for youth with disabilities. Probably the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart is Serious Fun, which is a wonderful organization that was started back in the day by Paul Newman. And they do these completely free camps for kids that have chronic and serious illnesses. And the different camps are focused on different issues that children have. So they're in like company and they get to really just be a kid and kind of forget about their condition for the time that they're there. It's really just a beautiful experience. And I'm so grateful I've been able to be a part of that. I've worked with other organizations that do athletic events for individuals with disabilities to just kind of be support there. And then I used to work for the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Denver when I lived in Colorado.
Awesome. Well, yeah, you sound awesome, Matt. Like you've done a lot. And again, like Santi was saying, the more that you get people on bikes and kind of just have them learn and get out of that comfort zone, it can really create a difference within this age range, the high schoolers, the middle schoolers, the elementary schoolers, because they are the future. And Marin County's a lot of the people who I see riding bikes when I'm riding out is a lot of older people. I honestly don't find that much people who are younger like commuting from their house to work or to school.
Yeah, I think it's with the generations that are coming and kind of the generation. I wasn't kind of like in the middle of transitioning because growing up as being in my 6'10", we didn't have much of technology and we were walking to school, biking to school. But then as I grew up older, technology came in and it kind of took away that from, at least from kids, what I've seen, because now they're just on their phones and they rather stay home rather than going on a bike ride. Or in high school, the cool thing I have my own car.
Exactly,
I drive.
yeah.
And it takes away that, other options. But from people like Safe Routes to School and other bike programs promoting that, it always helps. There are students who still bike and do that as a sport. And for example, my high school, unfortunately, we had a small bike club, and it wasn't big. We didn't have a lot of students, but I remember my brother saying that he wishes that his generation would bike more so he has more like bike friends to go with on bike rides.
Well, SR has its own mountain bike team, I'm pretty sure, and they're pretty good. I had a lot of friends who were in that team, and again, it's interesting that you brought up the cars, because in high school that's the thing. Like that's how a lot of people they want to get a car because that'll make them popular or that'll make them more, the cool kid in town, right? But I'll admit, like when I was, I did a lot more walking when I didn't have a car, and I did a lot more cycling outside of my house when I didn't have a car. But now that I have a car, I was like, what's the point, right? But that once I actually got onto a bike again, I was like, wow, this is actually a lot of fun. And it feels so much better than a car, because in a car you just feel so locked in. And like you're just
sitting in traffic. It's
exactly, and the traffic's awful here. So definitely, like going on a bike really changed my perspective on just the outside, and it really got me feeling way more like enjoying the nature. Because Marin County is a very beautiful area.
It is.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say too that I think some of our students have realized through this program, and you kind of touched on this, Javier, is two things actually. One is, when we did the ride the other day over the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge, a lot of the students realized that they could do more than they thought they could. Some of them thought they were only going to go to a certain point, and then they pushed, and every single one of them went all the way to Richmond and back. And then the second thing is, just like you were touching on about nature and accessing things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to reach. One of our students in the program was super into photography. Ooh. And he wanted a bicycle. He put this in his application so that he could access other places that maybe you wouldn't be able to reach by car. And you really can.
That's
you
so
can get literally off the
path.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because with a bike, you can just go, like you said, places that you otherwise wouldn't be able to access
car
through
can't
a car.
take you.
Or it's just really annoying to have to go in car, wait in traffic just to get to a certain spot, pay for parking, all of that. You don't have to worry about any of that with a bike.
Yeah.
You can just take it there and be right there.
Money, it can save you time. There's a lot of benefits.
That's a lot of benefits. To all our viewers who are watching, just putting it out there, go do something today that you might feel uncomfortable doing, whether it's biking or walking, going on a hike, going for a run, because there are so many benefits that you might not even know. And like Matt mentioned, sometimes you think you can't do something and you kind of set your mind saying, no, I can't do that. But once you do it, sometimes you exceed your expectations in a big way and you get to connect with your body. So just putting that out there to everyone.
Awesome. And did you want to ask one other question?
Yeah,
Sophie?
I have a question. So I noticed that kind of on your description on the website, it says that you traveled around the world for about 8 years, giving tours to families and adults. What was that like? What did you learn through that experience?
It was incredible. It was a really fun period of my life. I feel grateful I was able to work for this incredible company that does bicycle tours all over the world. And I led in Spain and Thailand and Argentina and Costa Rica, awesome. All over the US as well. And not only did we have fantastic individuals and families traveling with us, and, I got to see, them experience these places. But I also, I spent months at a time living in these locations. So I really got to know them above and beyond the normal touristic level. So, I have friends in Croatia that I go and visit regularly. And whenever I'm over there, and that is probably the coolest thing to me, that I've gotten to kind of be a local in many places around the world.
And that's the cool thing about cycling too, and something that I've noticed as well when I've started riding, is that you feel like you can connect with people more in a way. Like you can definitely, like when I went on cycling trips for the first time with like a group of friends, it was a very interesting bonding moment for all of us, because we were all kind of, we were all matching speeds. We were all talking. We were all having a really, really good time. Like, it was a lot of fun being able to just be in a group ride and just going to a destination, seeing there's just the beautiful sights that are here in Marin County, and being able to do all of that together without the use of like just all of us getting inside of a SUV or something. Like, it's just so much nicer to go on a bike and get there naturally and really connect with the beauty here in Marin. So, yeah.
And maybe stop at a coffee shop and get a coffee or fill up your water, and you have a conversation with someone in a different town that you never would have met otherwise.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
I know there's a lot of bicycle clubs here in Marin. So, again, if you're like interested in getting to meet more people, especially with things opening up a little more this year, yeah, definitely look for a bicycle club, because I know that's a really great way of getting to know new people. And just, again, riding in a group is very different from solo riding, because I do a lot of solo riding, but group riding, again, can be really fun. It really can be a lot of fun.
So to all of you, if you want to find out more information about Matt and what he does, you can go to marinbike.org and you can see the programs that they have. And I was amazed at your website, because you guys had tips and routes and so many good stuff.
For beginners.
Yes, and I was sharing this with my brother. I was telling him, this is so cool, because, like I said, it's resources for all of the community. So, yeah.
But that's all the time we got. Thank you again for being on the show, Matt. We really appreciate you being here, and I think what you're doing is awesome, and it's really going to bring a great change to the way people transport throughout here in Marin County. So thank you so much for your efforts, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you to you both. Thank you to TAY Radio. And just also a big, huge thanks to Tim and Suzanne Leonidakis and all of our members and donors for making this possible. We've got a lot of work to do, and we're going to make it happen.
Awesome.
Well,
All right.
guys.
Well, take care, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.